Hey, what's up, guys? Um, this is the growing man. I'd like to talk to you about this subject of Christians getting up in arms with Trump closing the door to persecuted Christian refugees. Let's get it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so here we go. Christian groups say Trump has closed the door on persecuted Christian refugees. Washington, despite public statements promoting religious freedom, the Trump administration has failed to provide a lifeline to persecuted Christian refugees and other religious minorities around the world, according to a report by two Christian advocacy groups. The number of Christian refugees and other religious minorities allowed to enter the U.S. has dropped dramatically under President Trump. According to the report by World Relief, a Christian humanitarian organization, and Open Doors USA, a nonprofit that tracks religious freedom, with religious persecution of Christians at some of the highest levels ever reported, closing the door to refugees and asylum seekers threatens the lives of Christians. American Christians must not remain silent, said the report titled Closed Doors. Where were you guys when, why didn't you have this talk before Trump got in office? Why are you depending? This is what I never understood. Why are you guys depending on secular governments to help you out? Okay, why aren't you helping these Christians, to fellow Christians, helping Christians, who have the resources to help them to go find countries where Christians are not persecuted? Why are you allowing, this idea that presidents are going to help you out who belong to the government, a crooked, satanic government? Why are you why are you asking for help from them? Why would you want to do that? In 2019, the number of Christians resettled to the U.S. from a list of 50 countries known for persecuting Christians declined 69% compared to 2015, according to the report, which was based on State Department refugees figures. 6 months into 2020, fewer than 950 Christians have been resettled from these 50 countries, compared to more than 18,000 in 2015, the report said. If current trends continue, the U.S. will admit roughly 90% fewer Christian refugees from these countries this year than in 2015. The Trump administration has drastically cut back overall refugee admissions to unprecedented levels, but the COVID-19 pandemic has further restricted the flow. That's another thing too. Why are you mad that he's doing this when we have a pandemic? Okay? Why are you up in arms about this? We have a pandemic. Why are you doing this? I don't, it sucks for them, but we all understand that Christians are to be persecuted, right? And if this is, why not find places other than the United States where they could find shelter, where they are not persecuted? Okay. Again, I never understood this. Why the Bible says the world is not your home. Okay. And why are you looking to crooked politician presidents to help you? All right. Why are you looking for them to help you? They don't care about you. They're crooked politicians. All right. That's another thing too. But Trump is a businessman. It doesn't matter. He's in it for himself. You can see his track record. He's in it for himself. As State Department spokesman said, the Trump administration is prioritizing those who have been persecuted for their religious beliefs, in line with our commitment to advance religious freedom internationally, including protection of religious groups. The administration is also providing humanitarian aid to help those displaced by war and natural disasters, the spokesperson said, adding, in fiscal year 2019, the United States contributed more than $9.5 billion to supporting crisis response globally. the most of any country in the world. Out of a maximum of 18,000 refugees admissions permitted this fiscal year, the administration specifically allocated 5,000 spots for applicants suffering religious persecution. As of June 30th, the United States has admitted 3,564 refugees who have suffered religious persecution, according to State Department data. Oh boy. The authors of the cited report examples of declining numbers for particularly vulnerable Christian communities. The United States has resettled 336 Christians from Myanmar in the half of 2020. In 2015, more than 11,000 Christians from Myanmar were admitted to the U.S. Only 43 Iraqi Christians have been resettled to the U.S. so far this year, compared to 1,500 in 2015 and 2,000 in 2016, according to Tim Breen, CEO of World Relief. We do believe the U.S. can and should do more, Breen told the conference. I mean, yeah, you believe they should do more, but this is a secular government. What do you think is going to happen? The world doesn't really care about Christians. It doesn't. That's just something you're just going to have to deal with. All right. And a lot of Christians, and I'll be honest with you. All right. It's more white evangelicals who care about this. All right. It's more of them. Okay. They all gung-ho for Trump. But this man, is not a man to be trusted. We pray for our leaders. Pray for your leaders. But understand the fact of the matter is, this man doesn't really care. Okay? Christians are on their own with Jesus. That's it. The only person who cares about Christians is Jesus. All right? That's period. Okay, there's nobody else is going to really care. And if anybody does care, it's because of him. The world's not your home. It hurts. I'm a Christian, but this is it's facts. And it's a hard truth. It is a very hard truth. All right. You're not going to get many people wanting to back you. Although President Trump has tended to enjoy strong support from Christian voters and activists, one of the authors of the report, David Curry, CEO of Open Doors USA, said American Christians should not stay silent on the plight of refugees. Trust now you want to call on the Christians to try and force Trump's hand. It's not going to work. It's definitely not going to work. Okay, he doesn't do what you want. Now you're going to, like I said, Christians are on their own in this world. Pilgrims passing through, sheep sent among wolves. That's just how it is. Christians need to speak out on this issue, Curry told reporters. The administration deserved praise for its outspoken support for the principle of religious freedom, he said, and for aid provided to Christian communities abroad. But that did not preclude holding the White House accountable when it comes to the treatment of refugees. It's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. And sorry, but the Catholic Church is not a Christian church. It's not. It's a cult. It's not contrary for us to call out where the administration needs to step up, Curry said. It's not right, and we need to address it. The Trump administration has said its policy is designed to assist refugees where they are instead of resettling them in the U.S. But Curry said that approach ignored the harsh reality that many Christians and other religious minorities face mortal danger and have to seek refuge elsewhere. They may have to seek refuge elsewhere in other countries because you don't know if they have COVID-19. And it's hitting other areas of the world. You sided with this man, right? America first, right? I'm for putting America first. It's common sense. He has to make harsh decisions. And like I said, Christians are on their own. The only one that gives a damn about them is Jesus. Walter Kim, president of National Association of Evangelicals, praised the report and said it was shocking that the U.S. has closed its doors to virtually everyone seeking our protection, including persecuted Christians. We must change this policy, remain the leader of religious freedom, he said in a statement, at the expense of human lives, possibly catching COVID-19. That's killing people in droves. Yeah, okay. It seems like it's a case of Christians. You're trying to force the hand of a politician that really doesn't have to do anything. If it's for votes, he'll do something. If it's not, it's not. Okay. All right. The report was calling for helping all those facing threats and persecution due to their faith, and not just Christians, the author said. Admissions for other religious minorities also have dramatically declined under the Trump administration, the report said. At the current rate compared to 2015, admissions this year will drop by more than 90% for Muslims from Myanmar, Yazidis from Iraq, Kirat refugees from Bhutan and Nepal, Jews from Iran and Iraq, and Baha'i refugees from Iran. Last year, the United States Commission on International Religious Freedom, a bipartisan group chaired by Tony Perkins, a Christian conservative who has generally supported President Trump, warned against further cuts to refugee resettlement in the U.S., appealing to the White House to restore the number of refugees to the historic norm of about 95,000. Like I said, I don't think these people really care about people's health. You just want to bring them over here. You don't care about other people's health as a whole. I know that sounds harsh, but the reality is you're pleading with a secular government to do your own work. It's funny. This is how it is. Okay. This is how it is. You want to try and force politicians to do the will of God. Okay. And why don't you find places other than the U.S. for these people to be at? Okay, these refugees. Why not do that? Okay. Why not try that out instead of coming to the United States? Why is that so hard for that to be done instead? Okay. If they can't be brought to other places, I'm sorry. That's just it. Okay, and going to President Trump is not really going to help, because once again, he's a politician, and you go into people, a government that doesn't really care about you. Okay, he does not care. All right, he's a person that only cares about himself. Let me show you something else about Trump. All right, let's just get into that. Show you something right now. Trump calls report of Russian bounties on U.S. troops a hoax. Do you see what just happened here? All right. I hope you're reading it now. I'll read the title. Here we go. Donald Trump participates in a meeting of the American Workforce Policy Advisor Board in East Room of the White House on June 26, 2020. President Donald Trump on Wednesday dismissed the ongoing scandal surrounding allegations of bounties placed on U.S. troops in Afghanistan as a made-up fake news media hoax designed to hurt his reputation. But Democratic lawmakers called the episode unnerving for troops serving overseas and all of America, saying they believe the president should have acted sooner on the issue. And despite our multiple news reports that Russian officials have offered Taliban units financial incentives to target and kill U.S. troops in Afghanistan in an effort to destabilize American military efforts there, the New York Times first reported the matter last week, noting that Trump and other top administration figures were briefed on the issue in March. White House officials have denied that, saying that the evidence behind the allegations did not meet the standard to require a presidential level intelligence briefing. Russian officials have denied the charges. You see what I'm saying here? And earlier, in December 2019, he said the coronavirus was a hoax. This is what I'm talking about. And now when it came out, when he couldn't deny it anymore, he had to admit, all right, yeah, it's not a hoax. This is the president that you want to care about Christians? He doesn't even care about the American people as a whole. Like I said, Christians are on their own. In recent days, intelligence officials have expanded on those findings in separate briefings for congressional Democrats and Republicans. While both groups have confirmed questions surrounding the accuracy of the allegations, Democratic leaders have said that they are confident Trump was made aware of the information and should have acted in some way. I bet you he was given that information, but he didn't take it seriously. White House Secretary Kayleigh McEnany on Tuesday afternoon said that Trump is prepared to act and will always act in protecting our American troops if the intelligence turns out to be true. But she blasted the New York Times and other outlets for publishing leaked classified information and said there is no consensus within the intelligence community about the charges. Trump went further on social media Wednesday morning, saying that the Russia bounty story is just made up fake news tale that is told only to damage me and the Republican Party. The secret source probably does not even exist, just like the story itself. Wow. Here's his tweet. The Russia bounty story is just another made up by fake news tale that is told only to damage me and the Republican Party. The secret source probably doesn't even exist, just like the story itself. If the discredited New York Times has a source revealed it, just another hoax. Just like coronavirus, right? Just like coronavirus. Members of the House Democratic Caucus National Security Task Force, which includes several military veterans, held a press event after the president's Twitter remark to attack his response to the allegations, saying he appears to care more about the effect on his polling numbers than the lives of American troops. If this doesn't count as a treason, I don't know what is, said Representative Seth Moulton, Democrat, Massachusetts, and the former Marine who served in Iraq. Oh boy. Congressional leaders, including House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat of New York, both of whom have criticized the president's handling of the allegations and scheduled to receive an update on the intelligence on Thursday. Multiple Democratic and Republican lawmakers in Congress have called for a full congressional briefing on the issue, but White House officials thus far have not agreed to that. Oh boy. And there you have it. You can't trust politicians. You can't trust the Democrats. You cannot trust the Republicans. Both sides of the same dirty bird. Christians should know better not to trust these people, but a lot of them just, want some sort of power, covet some sort of power within secular governments. It's not going to work. It's always backfire, and they won't give a damn about you. All right, that's just how it is. This is the growing man. Peace and prayers.